I completely forgot until I saw the title screen that, oh yeah, it's Big Run tonight. Oh, God. Is there volume? I think I hear gameplay somewhere's in there. Oh, God. So, I should start off. I am sick. I don't know what the fuck happened to me. I don't know what got to me. But I am sick. Or, I'm clogged up right now. Oh, my gosh. And it's funny, because you're thinking, like, oh, is that why you didn't do this show yesterday? Because you were feeling bad? No, I was actually feeling better yesterday. But, there were things that I wanted to do tonight that I couldn't do yesterday that we can do tonight. So we're doing them tonight. Are there... Oh my gosh, somebody... I don't remember that effect. That's cool. So yes, it's time for the final big event. Actually, whatever. The final big Splatfest is coming up in 2 weeks. But before then, they're doing a special final big run. And the goal was to get to 700 million power eggs. As you can see, in basically a little over 24 hours, that goal has already been smashed. So now it's just, hey, can you get up to new milestones? So on and so forth. Honestly, if there is ever a time to play Salmon Run, it's like right now. This is honestly, hopefully, the most fun you will have during a Salmon Run. Because, you know, it's this big special event, but it's also a gold weapon rotation, which only happens like 3 to 4 times a year. Even though it's technically happened like twice in the past 30 days, but that's semantics. That's because this is a special event. We get to see the stage where all this is going down. You know, it should be cool. It should be cool. I am excited. We'll play a little bit of it. I don't know how much. So tonight we do have a few things to talk about. We've got to talk about Concord, the videos game Concord. You know, there's a lot to talk about there. So that is one of the things we do have to talk about. Oh, I don't know how I missed that. So yeah, we've got Concord, because, you know, Concord is now dead. Ah, shit. So that's one thing. We got a trailer for the Minecraft movie. Of course I'm talking about the Minecraft movie. Right? Like, of course I have a lot to say about the Minecraft movie. We got the Switch 2. Hey, guess what? The Switch 2 might be coming this month. I don't know. We'll see. So we got that, and then finally we have, I'm sure we have something else. Oh, we got some unboxings to do. Since, you know, the final Splatfest is kind of getting into things. We do have some final Splatoon Amiibo to unbox. And we got like one other thing or something like that. So we have a lot of things to unbox and talk about and whatnot. And then WIBE, I think I only have one thing. I think the only thing we have is Astrobot. Which I did which, you know what, I'll be honest, I was considering playing Astrobot tonight. But then I remembered Gold Splatfest, so I decided not to. But you better believe I did totally think about it. Because, yeah, Astrobot came out today. Next week. Next week, we're totally going to play Astrobot. But this week, not so much. And yeah, I think that's it. You know, there's probably a few other miscellaneous things. God, I forget how much this thing distracts me. Because, you know, I want to focus. I totally think that 150 goal is totally reachable. That seems like a pretty easy get, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like that's pretty standard. So I would love to get that 150. Not maybe tonight, maybe on my own later. I don't know where, but I think that 150 goal is totally achievable. Because look at this, like we're already at 40 in just this one round. Admittedly, our first round wasn't great, but you know, every round since then has been pretty solid. Ah, I missed. See, look at that. Just like one more run, like basically 1, 2, 3 rounds like that, and that's 150. And I've totally done it before in a mode like this. It's just I don't know if I can concentrate right now to get that. Where's okay? I can't get that. Somebody else has to. Yeah, God, I cannot focus at all. Fuck. I can't focus at all, man. This is... Man, I love this mode, but yeah, it's totally crapshoot as to how well you're gonna do. Oh, crap. I tried to get one more out. I mean, that's still, what, 70-something? 80? Yeah. That's not bad. Yeah, I just cannot focus, man. I want to focus on this, but we also got stuff that I really actually do want to talk about. Fuck. Okay, we'll do one more round. We'll see how it goes. If I'm just completely poop-braining, then yeah. Also, I'm now an executive VP. I have no idea where or how that happened, but somehow, yes, that did happen. Alright, let's start about our first thing. So, we gotta talk about the game Concord. So, the game Concord, really, the first time I really saw people talking about it recently was at the PlayStation State of Play a few months ago. They did, like, this big story trailer where they talked about the game back in, what? Was it... It was either late May, early June. Like, the game's been in development for 8 years, but that was really when everyone was talking about it recently. And I saw everyone talking about it, and I was like, if you watch my reaction to the announcement at the time, I mentioned, like, oh, hey, this game might be great if it isn't a live service, and then they reveal it's a live service, and I'm just like, oh, no, really? Why'd they have to make this game a live service? I actually wanted to like this. Because, like, yeah, it's just Guardians of the Galaxy, but I like Guardians of the Galaxy, man. But no, it's a live service, like, it's a hero shooter like Overwatch. But it costs $40. So already there's a major problem there. Because why would anyone spend money on your multiplayer game when people can just play Overwatch for free? Right? Why would they check out your new game when they already have an existing game that they get for free, that they don't have to pay any money for? it's a real, like, solid question, right? Like, hey, why would anybody pay money for this? Right? The first hit is free, and Overwatch is the first hit, or even something like Fortnite. Like, yeah, they're not direct competition, but they're pretty similar, right? Like, they're both close enough that it kind of doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So, Concord, right, everyone saw the trailer. I was not interested in it, like, at all. Most people I knew weren't either. But, you know, it was always like, hey, you know, I said the exact same thing about Helldivers, and I was completely wrong about that game. Right? I was completely wrong about Helldivers. That game, at least for a while, was actually doing pretty well. So you never know, right? A great game can come from anywhere. And I was totally open to, you know, Concord being that great game that came from anywhere. Yeah, no. Concord came out, like, basically 2 weeks ago. And it was not received as well as people would like. It was... The betas did okay, but, you know, people had some problems with them. For some reason, in the betas, they didn't have all the modes, and people were kind of disappointed by that. And, like, they basically broke up the beta over 2 weeks, and some people thought that was a mistake, that they probably should have done everything at the same time. And I'll be honest, I don't disagree. Like, I get that. I get why people thought, like, hey, you know, maybe you should put your whole game in the beta just to show off, like, this is what our game does. This is what it can do. This is why you should check it out. You know, like, it makes sense. But no, of course, that's not what ended up happening. Instead, they bundled the beta, and then when the game actually came out, they only had, like, 200 players on launch day. And it quickly fell below that. Right? In a very short amount of time. All of a sudden, the game had fallen well below what people were expecting of it. So that already created some problems. People were already disappointed by that. So Concord wasn't off to a good start, because you need players to play your live service game. And they just kind of didn't have any, and that that was biting them in the ass. So, you know, a lot of people were uncertain about Concord, kind of rightfully so. And now, just 2 weeks after launch, on Monday this week, they announced that, hey, guess what? Concord is shutting down. At least for now, right? They're putting the game offline as they go back to reconsider their options, as, you know, developers always put it. Because, you know, they're never going to shut down a game. Instead, they're just going to reconsider their options. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about this over the last few days. And I'm personally of the boot that we're probably never going to see Concord again. That, just based on what's happened in these past 2 weeks, the brand image of Concord is just kind of dead forever. Even if they come back and they do, you know, fix it or whatever, they've already hurt their brand image. Their bottom line is already damaged. And the game has only been out for 2 weeks. Yeah, you can bring it back as a live service with a battle pass. But realistically, what is that going to do? How is bringing a game that people didn't want to pay money for, how is bringing it back a live service all of a sudden going to change that? Because again, why would they check out your new game when Overwatch 2 is just right there? Or, you know, the new player in the scene, because everyone hates Overwatch now, is Marvel Rivals. Right? Overwatch has problems, so Marvel Rivals have kind of stepped in and been like, we're going to fix Overwatch's problem. Right? Overwatch has opened a gap, they've pissed off too many people, so now we're going to do what Overwatch doesn't, and we're going to, you know, fill in that gap. And so far, they seem to be pretty successful with the whole thing. At least from my point of view, anyways. Right? People seem really interested in Marvel Rivals. Whereas nobody cares about Overwatch, nobody cares about Concord, nobody cares about any of this. Because, yeah, you know, people are also just kind of fed up with live service games. Every game that releases nowadays has to be some sort of live service, and people are just kind of sick of it. And honestly, I don't blame them. Live service games, right, they're basically second jobs, right? Like, I've compared Overwatch, I've compared Fortnite, I've compared Splatoon to a second job. That's not a terrible comparison. Oh, we did it! We got over one... I thought we were just under. I thought we were just under. I thought we were going to hit like 148. Oh my gosh. Alright, that's it. We're done. We got our 151. I got my first ever gold trophy here on stream. I completed my second job. Now we can get the fuck out of here. Oh. I'll play on my own later to get some of that gold stuff and whatnot. But that's all I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's all that matters to me. We've done 270. In just 2 rounds, we did 278. Because that's kind of crazy. So yeah, I'll take... I've gotten silver, I think, once or twice before this. But I have never gotten gold. I will take my gold. And let's just walk away. Let's walk away on top. Right? We won. Oh my god. See, gold. This is why Gold Salmon Run is so much fun. Because that was so easy to get. We did not struggle at all to get that 151. I love Gold Salmon Runs, man. They only have, like I said, they only happen like 2 or 3 times a year. But they're always a blast. And it's so fun to collect so many power eggs. I kind of wish they did an extra work that was a gold run as well. That would be very fun, but I don't think they will. Especially because, you know, the game dies in 2 weeks. Okay, so back to Concord. The game is shutting down. They have announced that basically if you bought the game digitally, you are going to get a full refund, right? They're doing refunds through the PlayStation Store digitally or through Steam. Which, I mean... good on them, right, because here's the thing about Concord's failure. Is, well, yes, for a mega corporation like Sony, they can go fuck themselves, right? I have no sympathy for Sony or its executives. However, for the people on the ground floor, the developers, the visual effects artists, the programmers, I have full sympathy for them. They worked potentially 8 years on this game. And now it's just dead. And yeah, it could come back, but I don't think there'll be... once you've lost the moment, you can't... right? It's almost impossible to get that back. They had their 15 minutes of fame, more like 15 seconds, but you get my point. And that's it. Concord is kind of dead forever, potentially. They'll probably come back. They'll try. But how much money are they going to spend trying to come back? At some point, it just becomes a cost-sunk fallacy. And at that point, it's just probably better to just cut your losses and run. Right? Whatever studio... I know it's... Sony is the publisher, the funder. Right? Like, this is a... Concord is, as far as I know, a first-party game. But... somebody somewheres... right? Some studio was getting shut down because of this. Like, just earlier this week, we've heard that, Rocksteady, the studio that made Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, is already experiencing layoffs. Like, the studio has not been shut down yet, but if they do, I would not be surprised, because all it takes is one bad game, and your studio gets under. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be a bad game. Sometimes it can be a great game. Like, what was that Microsoft studio that got shut down and then got back recently? Not Fist of the North Star. Fuck, what was it called? The rhythm game? Hi-Fi Rush. Ugh, I don't know why I couldn't get there. Right, Hi-Fi Rush had a critically acclaimed game that got the studio killed. Right, you don't even have to be successful to die as a studio. And that sucks. That really does suck. For the developers who are probably going to lose their jobs, I do feel bad for them. I hope they pull something together. And I hope Sony learn... Between this and Astrobot, which is, you know, the most critically acclaimed game of the year, hopefully is going to sell $1 billion, I hope Sony learns their lesson. That, hey, guess what? People don't want live service games. They want good single-player experiences that, you know, sell consoles. I know we don't talk about it, but single-player games sell consoles. God of War, Horizon, those types of Bloodborne, those games sell consoles. Concord doesn't. Right? Like, there's a special edition Concord controller that you can still buy right now. Because guess what? Nobody cares. Right? Like, Concord didn't sell consoles. Because those types of games don't. So, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be exploring their options in the future. What exactly does that mean? We have no idea, obviously. Like, the obvious thing is that they make the game into a live service. They make a battle pass. I would say they sell characters, but honestly, looking at the people have looked at the Concord character roster and been like, I'm not interested in any of these characters. And me, myself, looking at the roster, I kind of agree. Like, the only character I even kind of like is the stupid robot, which is like this big yellow tank robot that reminds me of basically that one girl from the game ARMS, right? I don't remember her name. She's basically a Diva ripoff. That's who it reminds me of. But no, I get why Concord is... I see how we got here. And it does kind of suck. For the people in the studio who put blood, sweat, and tears into this game, it sucks for them. For Sony CEOs, they can go fuck themselves, right? Corporations, right? It's really good that, you know, The Last of Us online multiplayer game also got scrapped before it had gotten this far. Because I can almost guarantee you that would have had a similar result. Even though it's attached to The Last of Us. I'm kind of glad they killed it. I also feel bad for the employees at Bungie. I know there's some shady shit going on behind the scenes at Bungie that we don't talk about. But, right, something basically the same happened to them. I mean, at least they're not being sent to the Call of Duty mines. But no, it's just... I can't help but have sympathy for the devil. But no, when the actual game... The game shut down yesterday. Right? It got pulled at, like, noon yesterday. And people are not surprised. There were stories of people trying to get the Platinum Trophy before the game went offline. And they were just killing themselves over and over again in ranked mode. Because playing ranked mode got you the most experience, whether you lived or died. So they were just kind of trying to, like, cheat the system. And I know for some people it worked, but... Yeah, no, it's just 2 weeks is crazy. You know, this has happened to other games before. Like, yes, does this beat the Cullings 2 record of going offline after, like, 3 days? No. The Culling 2 is still probably the champion in these things. It might have been less than 3 days, honestly, thinking about it in hindsight. But still, does this beat that record? No. But, you know, most of these times when these live service games come out, they usually stick around for a while and try to find an audience. They try to find some group of people that will play these games, right? Just hoping that, hey, something sticks. Well, they eventually convert the game to a live service, right? That's what most of these other studios do. But no, that's not what happened here. They're just completely shutting the thing down. Like, even, was it called Battleborn? There was a hero shooter game, I want to say it was called Battleborn, that also kind of similarly was dead within just a few days. And that one even stuck it out for a little bit, just trying to see, like, hey, if anything happened. And did that game come out back as a live service or anything like that? No. It competed with, like, Overwatch. Battleborn released the same year as Overwatch. And when it died forever. I don't even remember. I want to say it was the studio who made Smite. And that sounds right in my head. Yeah, once it was dead, it's dead forever. And I kind of think the same thing's probably going to happen to Concord. Their brand image is tainted. They're dead. That means they're dead forever. I just don't see a way around it, honestly. Because they've hurt their brand image. So yeah, the other thing that came out of this right within this past week is the CFO of Sony saying that they feel like Sony doesn't have enough original franchises, which is just so fucking funny. Because yeah, Concord was supposed to have a tie-in episode with the show Secret Level, which comes out in December. Pretty optimistic, I would say. But the fact that Secret Level, that's probably still coming out. Concord will have an episode of the show. If the developers behind this team, they're the developers behind this game, if they try to get the new free-to-play version of Concord out by December, so that way it coincides with that episode of Secret Levels, that's probably their last chance to bring the game back. And if that fails, then yeah, that's it. That's probably their last chance is, hope that, hey, we got an episode of the show Secret Level, maybe that'll bring us back. It won't, but, I can see them trying that. But yeah, no, it's crazy that Sony's like, oh yeah, we don't have enough original IP, and yet Astro Bot came out, which is a love letter to both Sony and video games. And it's like, hey, look at all these cool IPs that you haven't used in over 10 plus years, When was the last Jak and Daxter game? When was the last Sly Cooper game? Hey, why not give PlayStation All-Stars another try, But nope. Nope. I actually think they might be giving PlayStation All-Stars another try. Call it a conspiracy theory. But yeah, I think that might be happening. I don't know. Astrobot's pretty good, and honestly, I kind of want them to just make more Astrobot and just use that as their love... Like, in the same way that Smash Bros. Is a love letter to Nintendo in video games, just make Astrobot a love letter to Sony in video games. Boom. Corner the market. Woo, you won. But I don't know if they'll do that. I don't know if they're... I mean, this is the same company that put all their money into Concord. I don't know if they're smart enough to do that. But yeah, that's the death of Concord. A live service game that... Yeah, it died the same day a new single-player game lived. And it's one of the best. Anything else on Concord? The one thing I do want to, I guess, briefly mention is, so, just PlayStation-adjacent news. It looks like... So, PlayStation is celebrating their 30th year anniversary. And it looks like in their 30th year anniversary promotional material. Right, last week we talked about the PS5 Pro and how we think we have what the design looks like. In the promotional material for the 30th anniversary of PlayStation, they also put an image that is strikingly similar to the leaked image of the PS5 Pro. So it looks like that got leaked, and as well with that, there are also rumors, which honestly, them putting the PS5 Pro logo in there might have been completely intentional. Like, I would not, because it's a pretty badly kept secret at this point, kind of like Valve's multiplayer hero shooter, because yeah, Valve is also trying to make a hero shooter. It's a pretty poorly kept secret, so I would not be surprised if they did that intentionally. But supposedly it's going to get announced in this upcoming week. And with that, we might be getting a PlayStation Direct. So that, that'd be a pretty big deal. But yeah, that's coming. Do I have any actual predictions for it? No, of course not. Of course I don't have any fucking predictions for a PlayStation Direct. Bloodborne. Bloodborne on PC, Bloodborne on PS5. Boom, that's it. Take advantage of your app. I got nothing. I don't know, if they can get another single-player game out before the end of the year. I know that's only like a 2-month turnaround at this point. September, October, and then it release in November. Yeah, that's still basically 2 months. I think that'd be a very smart move on PlayStation. I mean, you've got Astrobot right now. Capitalize on the moment. But we'll see. So yeah, but I think that's all I got for PlayStation. Next thing we got is the Minecraft movie. So we got it. So we've known the Minecraft movie has been in some stage of development for like a decade now. It's gone up, it's gone down. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, whenever this comes, right? It's been in development hell. And, you know, we got the FNAF movie earlier this year, or last year, which was similarly in development hell. But they actually managed to pull out something decent. Not amazing, but decent. So, you know, with a Minecraft movie kind of being in development hell, I know we had gotten leaked pictures of the sets and promotional art of Jack Black as Steve. You know, we are kind of in the best age of video game movies right now. Or at least video game movies are better right now than they have been any time in the past. So, you know, there was a little reason to be hopeful for this, right? But we got our trailer. I'm not going to show it, but it ain't pretty. And, I mean, like, visually, it doesn't look pretty. Because it's basically human characters on green screen backgrounds. And it's, you know, they're kind of, you know, there's those jokes that are always like, oh, this is what video games are going to look like in 2014. Here's this hyper-realistic video game image. And it's just like characters with like weird skin textures and like, this is what Mario would look like if he was actually real. And it's just this really ugly image. Now, that style can work. Detective Pikachu did that. And they made it work. But I think Detective Pikachu made it work because, well, one, they had some good artists who did it, right? Like, the guy who they got to do it had, like, years of experience doing it beforehand. But it's because they kind of, I don't know, they found a way. Maybe it might just be because Pokemon is so cute that even giving them, like, realistic fur, but keeping the same shape language is all you needed. Whereas Minecraft creatures are all blocky and whatnot, so keeping the same shape language just doesn't work. Yeah, that might be a part of it. But yeah, it's like, hey, look, it's the Minecraft world. Everything's made of blocks. But hey, this honestly, you want me to be 100% honest? I could look past the CGI. I could look past them being real people living in the Minecraft world. I can look past all of that. The problem is the story. The story is Jumanji. It's Tron. It's, hey, what if real-life humans got isekai'd into the video game? Like, come the fuck on. That's not what I want. Like, people have just said, like, hey, if this had just been Jack Black and some red-headed woman, I don't know which one. Just pick one. Emma Stone. Let's just pick Emma Stone. And it was, hey, it's these two people living in the Minecraft world. This is the world they grew up in. This is the world they've always lived in. And they're now on a quest to go beat, right, all of a sudden the Endermen have showed up. So they're on a quest to go beat the Ender Dragon. They have to go to the Nether. They have to go to the end. Along the way, they come across trials and tribulations. You know, if that had been the story, I would have been fine with this. I legitimately think I could have looked past the graphics. I would have been like, yeah, okay, it's just about, you know, people living in the Minecraft world, experiencing Minecraft. But no, instead the story is a fucking isekai. Like, my prediction had been that the movie was going to be based on the book. So, if you don't know, there are Minecraft books. And, well, yes, there are multiple, and, like, some of the Minecraft books are literally like, hey, I got isekai'd into the Minecraft world, or, I think the second one is literally like, hey, I got into a car accident, and now I'm in the hospital, but hey, the hospital has, like, a VR headset that allows me to play Minecraft while I'm just, you know, slowly dying in this bed. That's literally the plot of the second Minecraft book, FYI. But, okay, so that's what you'd expect from, like, a Minecraft book or a Minecraft fan fiction, right? That's fully what you expect. The first Minecraft book, written by the guy who did World War Z, by the way. Yeah, that guy, Max Brooks, wrote a Minecraft book. And it's literally a story where it also is kind of an isekai, right? Where the guy wakes up in the Minecraft world. But the twist is, he knows nothing about Minecraft. So all of a sudden, this guy wakes up in the square Minecraft world, and he has no idea what's going on. He has no idea how to play Minecraft, and he just kind of has to figure it out. And it's written, it's still definitely a kid's book and whatnot, but it's really interestingly written, and like, if that's what the story was doing, I'd be like, okay. You know, it kind of reminds me of those, like, Ant Venom Minecraft music videos back in the day, where it's, you know, playing hardcore on my own, got to get to the end, I don't know, or however that song went. If that's what they were doing, I would have been like, yeah, okay. A lot of people are saying that, oh, they should have just done Fallen Kingdom or whatever. I don't know if they should have just done Fallen Kingdom, because there are definitely elements of this that are like, yeah, wasn't the final boss fight of Fallen Kingdom literally them fighting, the piglins? Like, so they're doing elements of it, I guess. And, like, I'm fine with them actually doing, hey, we're people fighting the piglins, who are, you know, invading the overworld, which was technically the plot of one of the games, but that's semantics. Right? I don't actually... It's the isekai stuff, and that the fact that they're just... Like, if it had started with humans in the normal world, who then enter the Minecraft world and become block people, I would have less of a problem with it, but everything's just so jarring, the green screen looks awful. The CGI look, I could work through, right? Those Lion King movies are basically entirely animated. And while I hate those, that's for completely different reasons, right? I could work around that. This, I don't think I can work around. And it wasn't... So somebody took this trailer and used that classic, like, 2014... Minecraft music video animation style and basically reanimated the entire trailer. And I've seen a lot, since somebody did that, I've seen a lot of discourse like, hey, is this how the movie should have looked? Is this animation actually very ugly and Hollywood's trying to make like a professional movie here and yada yada yada. It's all a fucking mess. The entire discourse around this has been exhausting. And yeah, admittedly, I'm not helping things talking about it now. And of course, you got, you know, Jack Black delivering another great line, I am Steve. Which, of course, it's one of those lines that's designed to be like, oh, us as the audience, you know, we're supposed to freak out. Oh, it's Jack Black as Steve. But as, you know, in the universe, it makes no sense. And there is this element, right? I've seen a lot of people speculating that, hey, this movie might not actually be that bad because it's very tongue-in-cheek, right? Like, the whole I am Steve line is clearly supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek thing, and that people are just reading way too much into it. They're taking this movie way more seriously than it is supposed to be. And you know what? Maybe that is the case. Maybe the movie is very lighthearted. Maybe it is very tongue-in-cheek, you know. I've seen movies pull... Again, the Lego movie pulls something like that off pretty well. All three of them do, actually. So, right, they can do something like that. It's just based on this first trailer, I don't get that impression. The cast, the costume design is off. Whoever got Jason Momoa that wig should be fucking fired. Oh my gosh. And his costume isn't much better. The rest of the cast, you know, 2 guys, 2 girls, that's fine. I don't actually hate Jack Black as Steve. Again, that audiobook that book I was just talking about, the Max Brooks one, Jack Black narrates that audiobook. He does a fine job in that. But, and you know, and then there's the name. The name is a Minecraft, instead of the Minecraft movie, it's a Minecraft movie. There's 2 ways I think you can take it. The less generous way is that they're kind of doing the Captain Underpants thing, where if you remember, the first Captain Underpants movie was called Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. And then the movie bombed at the box office, which it shouldn't have. It was a perfectly serviceable movie. It should have done fine. But yeah, since that movie bombed, you know, they're never going to get a second one. A little optimistic. So I could see them being like, hey, it's a Minecraft movie, because we're going to get 1,000 more, right? So that's one way to read it. That's the pessimistic way. The more optimistic way is that Minecraft is a game all about you telling your own story, right? That you can tell your own story. Everyone's Minecraft experience is their own journey. That's kind of why Minecraft is the perfect Let's Play game, because everybody's Let's Play of Minecraft is different. Everybody's telling their own story, so everybody's playthrough is kind of unique. And if that's what they're going for with the movie, like, hey, this is just right, this is our Minecraft story, but your Minecraft story is completely different. That's the more optimistic reading of things. Personally, I'd rather think about that optimistic reading, because I don't hate that idea, right? If this is like, hey, this is just a Minecraft story, but Minecraft has infinite stories to be told. That's not terrible. It's just a question of, was that intentional or not? And frankly, I have no idea. The other thing I've seen some people say that, like, oh, well, I've seen some people say that we need to bully the studio. That, hey, we got them to change the Sonic movie, we can get them to change this. I don't know if you can get them to change this. Like, because I feel like the narrative around the Sonic movie has been kind of twisted over the years. The Sonic movie, it wasn't just like, hey, they released the trailer, a bunch of people complained, and then overnight they switched it. No. There were, right, on top of people complaining on the internet, people within Sega themselves were also complaining on it, right? People within Sega who actually, have decision-making power. They complained. The movie had to be pushed back I want to say the movie was delayed like 3 or 4 months, right? It wasn't just like, oh, we're just going to change it. No, the movie had to be delayed. And on top of that, they had already created merchandise. They had posters. They had toys. All of that had to be recalled, right? The Sonic change wasn't just a snap overnight decision. This Minecraft movie is clearly taking a lot more work than that, right? There's a lot more that changes here. So even if they just go back and change, the visuals, guess what? The story is probably going to be exactly the same, which the story is my biggest problem with this potentially. So no, I don't actually think going back and changing the visuals will actually fix anything. Much like some people, right? Some people say that, oh no, all you got to do is make it look better. I don't think that solves the problem. There are much bigger fundamental problems that are theoretically here. Again, all of this is theoretical. Who knows? There have been good isekais in the past. Potentially, this could be one of them. Right? The only good isekai I can think of is like ReZero. And even ReZero has its own problems. But like, okay, I'm not saying ReZero is the only good isekai, it's just the first good isekai that comes to my head. And yeah, even that one's got its own problems. Plenty of them, actually. But yeah, no, I'm very hesitant about this. You should be too. It could be good. It could be, but I'm very hesitant. And you should be hesitant as well. Right? A lot of people are just saying like, oh, well, it's got Minecraft's name on it. It's gonna make $1 billion regardless. That's not how, if we were if pre-COVID, totally. Minecraft, just having Minecraft on it would sell a bunch of tickets. We're in a post-COVID world, baby. Things have changed. We've got a lot of good video game movies. That's not, people, right, like, the Mario Brothers movie isn't, like, amazing or anything, but it's solid enough. People actually have some standards. Not a lot, but some. Other things about the Minecraft movie, I've seen some people be conspiracy theorists that, like, no, this Minecraft movie is actually like a parody, that this trailer is intentionally bad on purpose, that, hey, any day now when the actual trailer comes out, it's gonna look completely different, it's gonna basically be a completely different movie. That's not gonna... Let me tell you, my friend, there's also going to be a secret fourth good Sherlock episode that justifies that entire show's existence and makes their bad show suddenly good. No, you're in the loony bin if you think this is all just a parody or some sort of conspiracy, right? If you're into any of that conspiracy theory stuff, no, that's complete bull. None of that's gonna happen. This is the trailer. This is the movie you're getting. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say, what conspiracy theories you peddle. None of that's going to happen. It is inevitable. This is not the Minecraft movie you wanted, but it's the Minecraft movie you're going to get. There is no secret good trailer that, is a completely different movie. That's just not how this works. That was never how this works. And you're a fool. Honestly, I know some people do it for clickbait. There are some people, though, who do it unironically, and you're just a fool for suggesting that. I think that's all I got to say about that. So let's talk about the Switch 2. So, earlier in the week... Let me blow my nose real quick. So, earlier in the week, a rumor came out that was like, hey, there's going to be the Switch 2 reveal later this month. I don't exactly remember who said it. Let me see if I put it in my Twitter notes. No, that was a different guy. That's a different thing. That's Concord shutting down. That's something I still need to do. Nope. So there was a rumor. Somebody at some point said that, like, hey, guess what? The Switch 2 is going to be revealed sometime before the end of the month. I mean, it's theoretically possible. I mean, my prediction up until this point has been October. I've been saying October. You know, Nintendo themselves has said that when it comes to the successor to the Nintendo Switch, they want to stick to the same timeline that the Switch did. I think that's a good idea. The Switch worked well. It had a good timeline implementation. You know, basically 6 months from console reveal to release was a good idea, and I think it worked out really well. So them being like, hey, we want to do the same thing for the Switch 2 actually makes a lot of sense. I could see them doing that. I could see that being a very logical decision-making process. But there's been a lot of rumors recently that the Switch has been potentially not coming out until April, May, or June. And if that's the case, revealing it in September would make a lot less sense. You know, if we're going to do it in September, if anything, I would think they would push it off until... I think revealing it in January is too late. I think January is too late, and I think definitely December is too close to the holiday season, but I think November might be too close to the holiday season as well. I think you want some distance, so I still feel like October is the perfect time. But there were a lot of rumors this week that was like, hey, it's coming out this week. There were rumors backing up the backwards compatibility thing, that guess what, the Switch 2 is also going to have backwards compatibility, which it'd be dumb if it doesn't. It'd just be dumb if it doesn't. I see no reason why the Switch 2 can't have backwards compatibility. So I completely believe that rumor, but that's a whole other thing. Right, Nintendo's usually pretty decent at backwards compatibility. I mean, well, from the GameCube onwards. I mean, the GameCube could play Wii games, the Wii could play the Wii U could play Wii games. You know, once they got away from cartridges and started doing discs, they got better. And then, of course, the Switch, but that's a whole different thing, right? Like, the Switch couldn't play the DS could play Game Boy game or Game Boy Advance games. The Game Boy Advance could play Game Boy games. The 3DS could play DS games. Nintendo's usually pretty decent at backwards compatibility. It's really just early on with like the NES, the SNES, and the N64. So yeah, I think all the backwards compatibility stuff is completely true. But no, do I actually think it's happening this month? I don't know. I saw someone bring up the fact that like there's a new variant of the Switch Lite that comes out on September 26th, right? The Hyrule Edition. And then there's that new Joy-Con charging device that comes out October 17th. So maybe it would make sense for Nintendo to announce the new Switch sometime between those two dates. So right before that new Switch charging thing, because you know that new Switch charging thing would potentially be very nice to have with the Switch 2. But sometime after that 3DS XL, or that Switch Lite, I mean, I don't know why I said 3DS. So after that Switch Lite, you know, to encourage people to buy that Switch Lite. I think that makes sense. That does, in theory, also put us in early October, late November, early October. I think that's very likely. Honestly, I think that's a good model. I think doing it, like, October, like, 8th or 9th, you know, the first, second week of October, I think that's a perfect time to do it. You know, just have people wake up one morning, Nintendo being like, hey, tomorrow night, catch a special presentation about the Switch 2 success, or about the Switch successor, and then just that being the thing we see in the morning, then the following night they just reveal it. I think that's a good idea. I kind of expect them to do something like that. Because when all these rumors came out, right, another, leaker, I think it was Bill or Bilby or... Yeah, Bill Coon, basically responded and said that no, we are not getting the Switch 2 this month. That instead, they're going to launch a new model of the OLED. They're going to announce a new Switch OLED variant. And I'll be honest, I think that actually makes a lot more sense. Because, right, we're getting a special Legend of Zelda Switch that comes out later this month. But you know what comes out in just 2 months? Mario and Luigi Brothers ships. And you know what would be cool? Having a new Switch OLED that had Mario and Luigi colored Joy-Cons. That would actually be pretty cool looking. You know, it's not a Switch Lite, it's because I feel like we haven't got that many editions of the OLED. We are having a lot of connection issues tonight. Wow. That doesn't actually happen that often. Wow. Yeah, that doesn't happen all that often. So yeah, I think a Mario and Luigi Brothership edition of the Switch OLED would make a lot of sense. Get it out maybe sometime in late October. Maybe I could honestly see them releasing it the same day as Mario Party Jamboree. Even though it's for the game after Brothership, having it either the same week as Jamboree or the week after Jamboree, I think would make a lot of sense. Potentially the week before, but just some sort of tie-in to Mario and Luigi Brothership would make a lot of sense. I feel like it would be a very logical decision to make. So I think this being an OLED, this would not be the first time we've had a Switch OLED in the past, right? Or, because I remember when the Switch OLED was announced, right, there were all these rumors about, like, a new Switch. Maybe it was the Switch Pro. There were all sorts of, like, weird rumors kind of spiraling during that time. And they eventually amounted in the OLED. But it was just kind of a very, like, oh yeah, here's the OLED. No. It was the year... Okay, so the year after the Switch OLED released, there were a bunch of rumors about a Switch Pro, or some new model of Switch or something like that. And it was in July, and if we were going to get a Switch Pro, everyone was like, yeah, it makes sense they reveal it in July, and then release it in, like, August, and release it in September or October. And that was all the rumors, and then the rumors amounted to the Switch, the Splatoon edition of the Switch, the ones with the blue and yellow Joy-Cons. That's what those rumors amounted to. That it wasn't a new OLED, or it wasn't a new Switch, it was just a new version of the OLED. I remember posting about it on Twitter at the time, because I was like, oh yeah, because I was fully expecting a new Switch rumor. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, oh well, I guess we'll just have to wait until July of next year. And then nothing ever happened again. I don't know, I can actually find out when I tweeted that. In July of 2022, we were expecting a Switch Pro, and it just didn't happen, and it ended up with an OLED variant. And it was like, well, I guess that's it. I guess that's where we call it for the day. So yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say about the Switch 2. So, we do have some unboxing stuff, and this is obviously broken right now. So, let me go get my stuff for the unboxing stuff. We'll get into that. And then, yeah, I think I'll have to figure it out. Let me go grab the stuff real quick. We got a few things to unbox, actually. And to, try. And then, yeah. Give me 1 second. That's not good. Ooh. Okay, is that working now? Can you hear me? Okay, I think I got that working. Audio, I've got that. I've got the stream deck over here. I'll figure the rest out later. Okay, I accidentally hit a button there. So we got some stuff to unbox. I've got the keyboard. There's nothing I can do about it. Probably not anyways. So we've got a few things. We got Splatoon Amiibo. Splatoon Amiibo 1. Would you look at that? Crazy, right? We're actually... This is why I didn't do the stream yesterday. Is because I was waiting for these. They were supposed to arrive yesterday. And then they got delayed a day. So we got those. And then we got these. We got the nice looking off the hook ones. Yeah, very pretty looking. I love... I saw someone on Twitter, because, right, there's been a lot of Splatoon stuff on Twitter recently. Because, you know, the game dies in 2 weeks. And I saw someone talking about Off the Hook and how it's very clear that Nintendo favors Off the Hook. They give Off the Hook the nicest gear, the biggest promotions, and the best amiibo. Man, the gold and silver ink on these things looks so good. These are some great looking amiibo. Oh my god. Those ones blow me away. And then we have a few other things to show off as well that I'm going to save for a little bit later. Well, let's start off with some Amigos. I guess let's start off with Callie Marie. I don't hate these guys, right? I like Marie. I like their new design, right? I like the updated Callie design. The Marie design updated from the second game looks great. I love that they kept the umbrella from the second game. I think that was a great choice overall. So I do think these are good looking figures, right? It's just they came at a sort of cost. We'll see about that. If you gotta see my old dusty keyboard, you gotta see my old dusty keyboard. Alright. This keyboard is older than... It's not older than me, but it's older than a lot of people. Oh my god. But it's a good... It's still... Besides for the 7 key being kind of stuck, it still works great. I don't like light-up keyboards. I don't like mechanical keyboards. Just not... They're just not for me. I tried. I literally replaced this keyboard with a light-up keyboard at one point, and I fucking hated it. It was, I didn't like I don't like change. I didn't like the change, and I didn't like the lights. It just, it did not work for me. I hated it, so I destroyed it. Let's start off with Marie. I remember we figured out how to focus this camera last time. Do I still remember how to do that? Oh, maybe I do. Oh, boom, there we go. So we got Marie, we got the Parasol, the yellow ink. I like that they match. That is, I think, a good upgrade for them. But I think that is I think that's a good looking figure. I've always liked Marie more, of course. But I think giving her the Parasol is a nice touch. I like the design on the Parasol. Everything about it, I think, looks... I think the trench coat is great. Just, generally, between the two Squid Sisters, I like Marie more. And then we got Callie. Right, it's basically her Splatoon 1 design, but just a little updated, you know. I kind of wish they had found a way to update her Splatoon 2 design, where she's the villain, if they had just gone in and been like, oh yeah, here we go. Oops. That would have been interesting, but no, instead it's just the one design, just a little changed. I wish they'd used these in-game more. Like, I wish when we got to see Off the Hook, or when you'd seen the Squid Sisters, they had, like, used these designs instead of them just going back to their Splatoon 1 designs in the lobby. That would have been so nice. Because I do really like these designs. I like how the characters change. And yeah, it's just neat that we got these figures. Like, this is not something I expected to ever get. So I think it's cool that we got both of them. And then the other one is, of course, Off the Hook. Yeah, look at them. I think they both look great. I love the Pearl figure. I love this outfit for Pearl. Giving her like the NASA jacket, the gold crown, the visor. I think it all looks great. Marina's great as well. I like the blazer with the open shirt. That's great. But yeah, no, but giving them the gold and silver ink. Oh boy, does that just look so nice. And I wanted to unbox these this week, so that way, hopefully, by the Splatfest next week, we'll have the gear. I definitely want to blitzkrieg the Pearl gear first, because I think I like the Pearl gear. I just love that jacket, man. That jacket's so cool looking. Ooh, and they're kind of heavy. Yeah, that ink really kind of adds up. Alright, let's start off with Pearl. So yeah, she's got that. It reminds me of like a NASA jacket, right? Like I could see like an astronaut having this jacket when they get back from space. I think it's got a space logo in there as well. But the rest, the gold crown, the gold ink, the glasses, I think it all just looks. It's a great update for an already good character design that I grow to appreciate more over time. I think this is the perfect updating for it. Just fantastic overall. And then, of course, we got Marina, the silver ink, the jacket. Oh, you got some gloss in her? You got some gloss in her tentacles? That's actually really nice. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Yeah. Let me see if I can... Yeah, you kind of see the sparkles in the tentacle. That's actually really cool. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Yeah, her outfit is good as well. Just, I like, I think I like Pearl's more. I just love that jacket, man. I get why people can think these characters are oversaturated. Nintendo gives them a lot of focus. And yeah, but they're just cool characters, man. I totally, the reason I did not pick Team Future or Team Present based on the idols, but I get how people would because of that. They're just good characters. They're great. Splatoon has fantastic character design all around. My deep cut amiibos are over there somewheres, but the deep cut also has fantastic designs. Admittedly, it took me a while. I had to play through the story mode for them to grow on me. But to be fair, the same thing happened with these two. I didn't actually care for these two that much until the Octo expansion came out. And then I was like, oh my god, these guys are fantastic. So yeah, no, I totally get the appeal of these guys. I think these are some great looking figures all around. Yeah, they're just, Splatoon has good character design. They really do. And this is no exception. Alright. So the other thing I actually have two more things. The next one, I made an investment. I was like, you know what? I bet Astrobot is going to be a good game. Right? I was just kind of hedging my bets. Right? In the same way I kind of hedged my bets on Splatoon being a good game, so I bought this Pro controller because I was like, this is probably going to be a good game, and I'll probably want something to remember it by, but this is my primary controller. Right? This is the controller I use for everything. I was kind of feeling the same way about Astrobot. I was like, this is going to be a great game. I'm really excited for it. Everything's going to go fantastic. Let's hedge my bets. And so I bought this. Was it an impulse purchase? Yeah, but I don't regret it. And the fact that, yes, it is the most critically acclaimed game of the year. The fact that I will talk about it because I have already played it is a great thing. So yeah, I don't regret buying this at all. I think it is a fantastic looking controller. The game is fantastic. So yeah, let's pop this sucker open as well. I'm spending way too much money this month. If that new Zelda Switch had been like an OLED, I definitely would have bought that as well. Like, I'm not the type of guy who needs multiple Switches, right? Like, I don't need 2 Switches, even though I technically do have 2, even though one is in my mother's possession. I do definitely get, like, the appeal of it, right? Like, I get why some people have it. And if that Switch had been an OLED, oh my gosh, I would have bought that Zelda Switch in a second. It's a little stuck. It's like that. Pull out this. We got the instruction manual. Oh my gosh, that looks so nice. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like glossy. It's got like, let me put this back. Let me also get rid of this. So compared to my normal PS5 controller, right, compared to that, you can see it's got like a gloss finish on it. That looks so nice. Honestly, I love the white. I like this, right? I love the white and black of the PS5, but the white and blue here also works very well. Putting the controllers on the center button's cool. I think that's I do not regret buying. I think that's a great looking controller. I guess it's nice to have a second PlayStation controller, you know, if I ever want to use it with somebody else, right? Because, like, I don't play any multiplayer PlayStation games because I don't have a second PlayStation controller. Or at least I didn't. I mean, I could have always just stolen my roommates, but still. I think that's a great looking controller. It's got the Team Asobi logo on the back. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful looking controller. I'm really glad I got that. Now I just gotta charge it. So that's the third thing I had. The fourth thing, I also was gonna have a fifth thing. So Taco Bell came out with gelato, and I was able to get some. And I was gonna try it out, and I've already had. I bought 2. I ate one on the day I got it, and then I had the other one in the freezer, and I was gonna have it tonight, but I just don't want any sweets right now. I'm like so sweeted out. Oh my gosh, I don't need that. I don't. So maybe next week if I remember. But I do technically have a Swedish, right? Like with what we're about to show. I mean, technically it's 0 sugar, but you get my point. Coca-Cola, 0 sugar. So it's Coke, but it's Oreo flavored. Oreo Coke. So this is Coke. This is Oreo flavored Coke, but there's also Coke flavored Oreos. I have not been able to find the Coke flavored Oreos. I'm still looking for them. But I was able to find this. They're little teeny tiny mini cans. So I think we'll try it out. I've actually heard this isn't bad. There's also a slushie, but I'm not gonna go to a fucking 7-Eleven. Ugh. I don't know if I can smell right now. Like, I feel like my my nose is all clogged up. I don't think I can smell. It just kind of smells like Coke. It's got... Fuck. Does Coke Zero just have a nutty flavor by nature? Like, I feel like that's what this may be, is that it's just kind of nutty by... Because the last time I had a Coke Zero, I did not like it because it was this weird, like, nutty flavor that I kind of hated. Is that just Coke Zero? Let's just try it. Oh. I guess I can... I don't think I have COVID because I can actually taste that. It does kind of taste like... I do kind of get a hint of Oreo there. Like, I do kind of get it, right? Like, I see... Yeah, I can see why they can say that. Hey, this is Oreo Coke. I kind of... Like, it's very brief and kind of faint. But I do definitely taste something like that. If only for a moment, I get something. That's actually not terrible. As a #1 Coke hater, who, outside of like McDonald's Coke, I do not like Coke. That's not terrible. Of all the Coke Zeros I've had, because for some reason, whenever Coke does a limited edition flavor, they always make it a Coke Zero. I don't know why, but that's always, like, I think of the limited edition Cokes I have, at least half of them are probably more than half are zero sugar. I don't think any of them are Diet Coke, but most of them are zero sugar. And I don't really care for zero sugar Coke. I don't care for normal Coke, but that's not terrible. I feel like a mini can of that is kind of perfect, because it's not so much that, like, oh my gosh, you get overwhelmed by it, but it's also not too little. It's actually not bad. Ugh. So yeah, that's all I got. Again, there's gelato. I'll talk about it here in a minute, but I don't actually really have anything to say on it. Like, if I'm just being completely honest. We're going to switch back. Alright, we're going to switch back over. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't need any more sugar. Can't believe the game crashed. That's wild. What shirt is that? I don't really recognize that shirt. Big Run. Gotta get back. Ah, I love that Samurai Jack reference. So yeah, that's kind of all I got on the unboxing stuff. Oh yeah, we gotta go hit up this. So, as part of the Splatoon anniversary stuff, they're giving away a bunch of gear, right? There's an exclusive suit, plus there's a bunch of equipment, like there's a bunch of headgear. I wish they had given away some pants and some shirts as well. But right, we got that, we got that, we got that, that, and that. I think my favorite is this. The Now or Never horns are so good. Right? Because these are all, like, references to the, right, like, that's, I think it's Callie and Marie's, Pearl, Marina, Shiver, Frey, and Big Man. And yeah, I think Frey has the best piece of gear. This isn't bad. This hat works well on certain outfits. The two spike crowns are a little too much for me. That's okay. It's a little understated. But no, I think that's the best one. Even though I do not like the ability to Tenacity. Tenacity does nothing for me. Alright, let's jump back in and see if we can actually get in a battle. Oh hey, we actually got in one. So, Mountain Dew Gelato. Like I said, we might try it next week. I might not. I just can't tonight. Ugh, I'm all kind of tuckered out. But it's not bad. If I'm being completely honest, it's a pretty small. It's $4, and for $4, it's a pretty small cup of gelato. Like, it's not. I don't know how many fluid ounces it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than, like, how many are in this Coke can? This Coke can is 7.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than 4. But, you know, it's gelato. It's exactly kind of like what you'd expect gelato. It's probably not. When I think gelato, I think of more of like a milky ice, and this is more like a not like a shaved ice, but you know, it's a little more icy than milky ice or whatever. I don't know exactly what gelato is. But I think it's an interesting experiment. I think Baja Blast is a decent flavor for a gelato. I feel like, you know how they have like those ninja slushies and those ninja creamies and whatnot? I bet if you got one of those ninja creamies or whatever and it has like a recipe for gelato and you just do that but pour in Baja Blast, you'd probably get the exact same thing. Like, I don't think it's anything outstanding, but I liked it. I think it was perfectly fine. Yeah, it was like $4 for a cup, which I can see being kind of expensive. But yeah, I think as something they were testing out, where they were only giving like stores like 100 cups or whatever, I think it was an interesting test. I'm glad they tried it. I'm glad they did a nationwide release. Because so often we see, like, when these companies do special releases, it's like, oh yeah, we're only going to release it in Nashville, Tennessee, or we're only going to do it in New York and LA and Chicago, right? 3 cities. No, this was a national release. And yeah, I feel like it was a pretty... somebody else will deal with that. I feel like they did a pretty decent job. I was able to easily get it. It wasn't like one of those things where it's like, oh my god, it's sold. Like, they didn't make so few that it was like sold out everywhere as you went, and I had to like struggle to find it like other places have. Those stupid McDonald's cups that sold out in like 24 hours. Okay, I think it was like 3 days, but still. Right, those... Right, this was like an actual... I think they did a decent... Right, they definitely did this better than they did that Baja Blast Stanley Cup. Because that's part of the reason they did this, is because it's like Baja Blast's like 20th or 25th anniversary. So they're doing like a bunch of Baja Blast experiments. I think it's... I'm gonna guess 20th. 20th sounds right to me. But yeah, no, I would, you know, if, again, it came out on, like, Tuesday, so if you haven't gotten it, you're probably not going to be able to find it. But if you can find it, I do recommend it. It was not bad. It's a nice little dessert to, like, wrap up the day. I keep, that fairy bread, splash tag, it's a QR code splash tag. And I have the QR code, and I keep meaning to get it, and I just keep forgetting. I just keep meaning to do it, and I just keep forgetting. Alright, so what else have I been doing? My timer is completely off this week, by the way. I forgot. I always, whenever I do the unboxing, I'm so busy doing other things that I always forget to update the timer. I'm gonna have to go fix that one in post. So I've been playing Astrobot. I booted up the game. I'm probably going to play it again next week, and we'll probably do it on stream. Either that, or I save it for the Game of the Year. But I don't think I will. I don't think I'm going to save it for Game of the Year. I'm probably just going to do it next week. I don't know. Maybe it's something we revisit after we do Game of the Year. It's an option. But I've been playing it. Right now, it's the best reviewed game of the year. It's sitting at like a 95 on OpenCritic, which is a pretty solid score, right? It's the solidest score this year. And yeah, no, I'm only like 4 worlds in, but I kind of have to agree. It is a very good game. It's a solid, put-together platformer, but it's also a love letter to Sony into video games, right? Like, it's not just like... Yeah, there's a lot of Sony representation in there, but Sony is not the only other representation, right? They have, without, how much do I want to say? Let's just put it, Ryu and Ken are in it, right? Like, there's all these different, like, Sony characters, you know, like Kratos and, the boy are in it, right? Like, you'd expect them to be in this, right? Because this is a love letter to Sony. But I was equally surprised to see, Ken and Ryu. And there's a bunch of other non-first-party Sony IPs that are also represented in here, as well as a bunch of first-party Sony IPs. If the game reminded me of anything, it reminds me of Mario Galaxy, which I've seen some people say it's a Mario Galaxy ripoff. That should not be taken. Some people are using that as an insult. Like, oh my gosh, can you believe Sony made this Mario Galaxy ripoff? That's not an insult. That's a compliment. Saying a game is like Mario Galaxy is maybe one of the highest compliments you can give a 3D platform. Like, this game easily gives Nintendo a run for its money. This is way better than, like, Super Mario 3D Land or 3D World. Oh my god, this game knocks that one out of the water. Easily. Yeah, I'd compare it to the first Mario Galaxy. And there's a lot of reasons for that, right? Like, I know one of the biggest is the world selection screen. It basically uses the galaxy maps from Galaxy. I mean, there's no, like, spaceship observatory. There is kind of a planet hub. But, right, it reminds me of a lot of Galaxy. And then the other game it reminds me of is Kirby in the Forgotten Lands. Right? Like, I don't remember if I compared the original, the Astrobots Rescue Mission... Or, not Astrobots Playroom. I think that's what it was. The PS5 launch title game. I want to say I compared that game to Kirby at the time. If not, let me compare it to Kirby now. That's kind of what else this game reminds. Like, the level design, in a lot of ways, feels like a Kirby game. Like, you know how Kirby games have, like, collectibles you find throughout the level. Specifically, in the Forgotten Lands, you know how you're collecting Waddle Dees? In this game, you're collecting Astrobots. But it basically is the same system. You know how at the end of Forgotten Lands, right, if you rescue all the Waddle Dees, they do a little dance with you? Yeah, same here. Once you rescue all the robots, they do a little dance and whatnot on the end goal. It very much reminds me of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which is also a compliment, especially because I think it's better than Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. The bosses kind of remind me of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, but also I think the bosses are... Oh my god, the bosses... I have not fought all of them. I've only fought like 2 or 3. But the bosses are so good. They are so much fun. If Mario... You know, Mario Wonder was a great 2D platformer, but its biggest problem was its boss fights. Its boss fights were underwhelming. If Mario Wonder had boss fights even half as good as this game... Oh my god, Mario Wonder would be amazing, astounding even. But no, Mario Wonder's boss fights are pretty underwhelming, sadly. Sadly. But no, this game has some fantastic boss fights, both in like where you would find, like in Mario Galaxy where you would find bosses, but it's got some really good mini bosses as well. The game is jam-packed with Sony references and cameos. It's not like too, like, it's kind of, if you played Astrobots Playroom as the PS5 launch title, very similar to that. They're as over or understated as you want them to be, with a few exceptions. There's a few ones that they kind of go bigger into, and man, the ones that they spend some more time on are just so much fun. Spoiler alert, I guess, it really makes me want a new Ape Escape. I really want a new Ape Escape game, because that one is just so much fun, and it kind of makes me miss those games. But yeah, no, it's been a fantastic experience. It's a lot of fun. It's very creative. I actually don't think I would say, well, you know, there's usually some downside. I don't actually have any downsides with this. Like, Mario Wonder was an amazing game, but I had 2 downsides with it. The bosses and the life systems. I hate life systems in video games. I feel like they're a relic of a bygone era. And guess what? This game does have great bosses, and it does not have a life system. You can retry a level over and over again. It does technically give you lives when you do a boss fight, you have 3 lives to do it. But, you know, then you just restart at the beginning of the boss. Like, I get why that limitation is there. I'm actually okay with them being like, oh, well, let's say you do the first, like, 2 phases of a boss, and then you get to the 3rd phase and die, and you die 3 times on the 3rd phase. I understand starting back at the 1st phase. That I'm actually okay with. Right. But Mario, I think this one, it is better than Mario Wonder. I think it takes what works about Mario Wonder, fixes what few problems it had, and, you know, well, it's also a 3D platformer and not a 2D one. But I just think it's a fantastic game. Easily, probably my biggest recommendation of the year, bar none. I think anyone can have a good time with this game. It's just, especially if you're a Sony fan, oh my god, this game is a love letter to Sony. in just the best possible way. I've enjoyed it, and I'm not even a huge Sony fan, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had so much fun with it. There's so much level variety, so many different little things they do. Because also, you know how like Kirby games have had like level gimmicks? Like I think of Return to Dreamland, where it's like, oh, in this level, you've got the fire sword, the giant fire sword. In this one, you've got, you know, you're a snowball, bowling ball thing. Yeah, no, this game kind of does stuff like that, where you go into certain levels, and there's like a level gimmick. Some of them, I'm pretty sure, return from Astro's Playroom, but some of them are brand new. And there was one where I just got to the level, and I was like, I had no idea it was coming, and I was just so excited. That level was so much fun. Again, I don't want to get into any specifics for today, because it really did catch me off guard, but it was so good. And there are so many little moments like that. The gimmicks are all really well thought out, really fun. Yeah, they reuse them a few times, but you know what? They take full use of them. Like, I think there's... One of the ones in the trailers is the robot dog. There's a robot dog that's like a jetpack. No, yeah, it's basically like a jetpack. I've used the robot dog, I think, 3 times. That's, I think, the one that's gotten the most use. But it's really fun, man. And there's a lot of other good gimmicks in there that they do a lot of really creative stuff with. And like I said, I'm only maybe halfway through the game. There's tons of there's puzzle... Every level... Again, it's like a Kirby game. They have puzzle piece collectibles, which are literally making puzzles, just like you would in a Kirby game. But then there are also character collectibles, which unlock other things, which you can use to, like, progress your... Again, like Forgotten Lands, you can use it to progress in the hub. That's the game that this really... Like, style-wise, it's like Mario Galaxy. But gameplay-wise, it reminds me of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Both of which are big compliments, especially because I think it's better than Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. And I don't want to say it's on better than Mario Galaxy. I'd probably give them very similar scores. I maybe would put, like, if I'd put Astrobot at like a 95, I'd probably put Mario Galaxy at like a 96. And I think Mario Galaxy gets that because it did it first. Like, it's got 15 plus years on Astrobot. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll check it out next week. That is the plan at the moment. We'll check it out next week. If not, then I'll do a second playthrough around the time we do Game of the Year stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll check it out next week. Because, yeah, it is a great game. It is a easy rec. It's $60. I've seen some people say that, oh, well, supposedly it takes 20 hours to 100% complete. You can beat the game in 15. It takes about 20 to 100%. I've seen some people can play that for a $60 game. That's not enough runtime. I think that for $60, listen, I've played 100-hour games that have costed the same price, but it has been a slog of 100 hours. Whereas 15 hours in Astrobot is some of the most fun you will have. For $60, for some of the most fun you will ever have, but it only lasts 16 hours, compared to a 100-hour game that costs the same price but is not as fun, I think that's a great trade-off. And I would easily, yeah, $60, perfectly fine price for this. Right? Like, you could have bought Concord, which was $40, but then you would have only played it for like 2 weeks before the game instantly died. Yeah, no, $60 is a perfectly reasonable trade-off. Again, it's a personal thing, but it is like, I've paid $20 for like 2 to 3 hour indie games that are just an amazing 2 to 3 hours. So $60 for an amazing 15 hours, yeah, that's a great trade-off. And it'll be, yeah, it's $60, but it's the best 15 hours worth of $60 you'll ever pay. Again, outside of like something like Mario Galaxy, which currently you cannot get, right? Like, there is no way to legally purchase a copy of Mario Galaxy from Nintendo. Because that be how Nintendo be, sadly. So that's Astrobot. Have I been playing anything else? I don't know. I think I was watching a YouTube video or something. But I think it might have even been like a retrospective on Animal Crossing. But it got me thinking about Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I'll be honest, I kind of couldn't remember our Animal Crossing world. Like, it's been a few years since I last played that game. And there were certain layout features that I just couldn't remember. So I booted it out of just pure curiosity. I booted up the game to be like, I wonder what was here. Right? Like, I remembered our weed stand, but I kind of didn't remember what we did to the garden up at the top of the map, and I couldn't remember certain things. So I was like, let me boot up Animal Crossing just to kind of walk around, if only for a few minutes. And yeah, I basically just booted up the game, took a tour of the island, didn't clean out any of the weeds, obviously, but, you know, I did some other cleaning. And yeah, you know, for just playing the game for like a few minutes, I had a good time. I had a good time just kind of bumbling around. I really want to finish the museum. I am literally only 3 pieces of art away from finishing the museum, and I would love to finish that one of these days. Because the only thing I'm missing the 2 slot. There's like these 2 like door panels that's like a white and a black ogre that I'm missing, and then I'm missing the statue of Nike, which I have plenty of fake statues of Nike, but I never was able to get the real one, and that's it. I'm missing 3 pieces of art. So I kind of want to just kind of jump back into the game for at least a little bit to get what I'm missing. So that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. Did I admittedly do that on like Sunday last week, and then I haven't touched it since? Yes. Does this mean I'm starting up a new season of Animal Crossing? Fuck no. But it was just kind of something that was on my mind. I played a little Splatoon off stream. I did pick Team Present, because, you know, the past is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. And honestly, I've met people from all 3 teams. I know people who are on Team Past, I know people who are on Team Future, and I know people who are on Team Present. So I kind of know everyone from all 3 teams. And you know what? I'll be honest, I think the best argument is actually probably for Team Future. Right? Like, because the argument for Team Past is basically what gets us Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump runs for the presidential office the same way that people would vote for Team Future. Right? Or Team Past, right? Some sort of, like, past, like, glory that never truly existed. Not that I'm calling Team Past people Donald Trump supporters, but you get my point. Future, on the other hand, I think has a much better argument of being like, you know what, we're looking forward to the future, especially because, you know, Splatoon Splatfests affect the next game. So being like, you know what, we have hopes for a better future. Kind of, you know, in the Chaos versus Order way of like, hey, Order was like this nice, pristine, like, glowing future, this like I don't want to say cyberpunk because it wasn't cyberpunk, you know, very like the SpongeBob future, right? Like where everything's chrome. That's kind of what Team Order was, whereas Team Chaos was more Mad Max, right? This one just feels like more of like a vibe. It's more vibes based. Like, hey, what's the vibe? Past, present, or future? And I totally understand the vibe of like, yeah, you know what? We want a better future. There are hopes for the future. I get that. I get the argument for Team Future. In present, you know, there are problems with sticking in the present. You know, only looking at the current moment. You know, you can look in your past to regret, but it's your future you don't know anything about. I don't know. I think there are good arguments for all 3 teams. Okay, maybe. I mean, the argument for Team Past is just a remake of Splatoon 1, which sounds like an awful idea in my opinion, but you never know. Because I think it is totally possible that we get Splatoon 4 within the next year. I don't think it's very likely, but with the Switch 2 coming around, either we're going to get Splatoon 4 or Splatoon 3 is going to get some sort of major update that adds new maps and third kits and whatnot to push Splatoon 3 on the Switch 2. Because Nintendo either has two strategies for Splatoon. They either go full in on backwards compatibility and are like, hey, we're doing new updates for Splatoon 3 to like push more people into the game, or they're just going to go straight for Splatoon 4. Which, to be fair, that's kind of what they did with the Switch 2, or with the Switch itself, is instead of just being like, hey, we're going to port, even though we were getting a bunch of Wii U ports, one of the few Wii U games that didn't get ported was Splatoon, because they instead just made a sequel. So I kind of see the argument of being like, no, you know, they're just going to make Splatoon 4 for the Switch 2. I don't know. Of course, we'll see, all in due time, as always. But I see the argument either way. Yeah, have I been playing anything? I don't think I've been playing anything else. I did not get around to seeing the new Beetlejuice movie. I definitely will at some point in the near future, because I have to take my parents to go see it, because at least my mother loves the original. But I did not get around to seeing that. Oh, so my mother, right, speaking of her Zelda journey, speaking of her and her Zelda journey, in Link's Awakening, she completed the Eagle's Tower. I don't remember where we were last time. She completed the Eagle's Tower. The Eagle's Tower really frustrated her. She really struggled with the Eagle's Tower, navigating the ball, thinking of the world as like a three-dimensional space. It's the water temple of Link's Awakening. So yeah, of course she struggled with it. Even though she didn't struggle with the boss, she actually got the boss on her first try. After that, she went looking for secret seashells. She had 20. And so I was like, hey, if you want to go get 20 more, you know, you can go do that. And sure enough, I mean, I had to give her a few hints to be like, hey, you know, you should probably go to, you know, the abandoned forest. I doubt you got the one there. There's one up in the mountains that I know, that I was there when you just walked straight on past it. The one, if there's one underneath the water up in tall heights that you can just swim past. Yeah, no, she completely just missed it. But yeah, she was able to get all 40 secret seashells, get the Koholint sword, and now she's in the final dungeon. As far as I know, she has not beaten the final dungeon. I did have to kind of hint to her where to go for the trading quest, because she had gotten the hook, but she had no idea about the boat under the bridge. Which, to be fair, I have no idea how you're supposed to find out about the boat underneath the bridge. Like, there's nothing in the game that really tells you about it. I feel like you're just supposed to discover it. But how she plays games, she would have never discovered it. So I kind of had to push her in that direction. But she did find it. She was able to complete the trading quest, get the magnifying lens. She has not gotten the boomerang as far as I know. And yeah, she's halfway through the 8th dungeon. Once she does that, you know, she can just go through the Nightmare Egg and beat the game. I wouldn't be surprised if she beats the game tomorrow. If I'm just being honest, I would not be surprised if she beats the game tomorrow. Because yeah, that's kind of where she's at. And then after that, I mean, Echoes of Wisdom comes out in 3 weeks, but I kind of will I might throw her into Skyward Sword next. Because I'm not gonna give her the Wii U to play Wind Waker. So, and I don't want her to play. I mean, maybe Link to the Past, but I probably would throw her in Skyward Sword. Maybe also Minish Cap, but no, probably Skyward Sword. If I'm just being honest. I don't know, she might get a kick out of the motion controls. I could see that happening. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I've played, all I've done. I can't think of any other foodstuffs other than the Taco Bell gelato. And, you know, this Oreo Coke. I'm gonna keep my eye out for the, Coke-flavored Oreos. I don't know how good those are going to be either. But they might not be bad. I don't know. I hope this sickness is like a 2-day thing. And that I wake up tomorrow feeling better and not worse. Because, gosh dang it. And, you know, I've been saying for the past, like, 2 weeks now that I need to go get a flu shot. I was like, yeah, I need to go get a flu shot. But I don't want to... Because, you know, after you get a flu shot, you feel kind of yucky for a day or two. And I don't want to feel yucky on a weekend. I want to feel yucky on a weekday. Like, even if I'm at work, I'd rather feel a little yucky at work and then get to enjoy my weekend than be, you know, feel awful on a weekend. Or my days off, or whatever. But no, that didn't happen, and now I got something, and my nose is all clogged up, and... I don't know, it might be... I mean, I don't feel terrible, so it might be COVID, and just all the boosters I've gotten have kind of done nothing to me. It's not monkeypox, I can tell you that. It's really just the clogged nose, and my throat is kind of scratchy because of all the mucus, but... Who knows? It might explode after that. Yeah, I can't think of any. I'm sure there is something else, but I can't think of anything else. So I think that's where we're gonna... I guess that's where we're gonna end off. Yeah, I guess that takes us to the outro. Oh. So what's coming up in the future? I have no idea. I kind of, playing through Astrobot's, just Astrobot, I mean, I kind of want to replay Astro's Playroom, and if I were to, I'd want to do it on stream. I also want to play Astro Rescue, because I own a PSVR. I've never played Astrobot's Rescue Mission, you know, the PSVR game. I really should. So I'm also kind of thinking about that at the moment. Of, like, you know, because if I were to play Astrobot again, the normal game, I'd want to do it on the, on stream. I feel like there's no reason to do it if it's not on stream. Oh, gosh. It hurt. Supposedly, okay, so supposedly in the new Splatfest, there's going to be rainbow ink. Like, that's going to be one of, like, the things, is that there's going to be some form of, like, rainbow ink. And I wonder if these little ink splotches are hinting at it. And yeah. That big run, you know, honestly, big run went pretty well today. For getting it on our second go. Like, am I probably going to play some more off stream before it ends tomorrow? Definitely. But for what we played today, not bad at all. Alright, I'm going to start with the Pearl Amiibo. Yep, let's register it. I keep saying it's got an astronaut gear. Let's just call it Luna... Can we just call it Luna Pearl? Sure. Sounds good. I almost just dropped my Switch controller. Look at her! Oh my gosh, isn't she great? What's going on? I'm Pearl from Off the Hook, aka MC Princess. Look at you, flawless style and all about that freshness. Once you get enough battles under your belt, you'll be unstoppable. Line me up, I'm your personal hype squid. Need to load gear camera, gotcha. Freshest fits, ready to go at any time. Feel me? Yep, do it for me. Yeah, I got you a little something. Okay, we're starting with the boots. We'll get there. We'll get to the jacket. The crown is also nice, but yeah, we'll get... Even though we can't use the jacket in the Splatfest, which breaks my heart, it'll still be nice to have. God, there's just this sense... Oh, we need to check the shops as well. There's just this sense of... Like, the music is filling me with dread. Nothing here. Nothing here. Oh, some shoes. I don't think they added any gear in this new update. Outside of, like, the Splatfest gear, I don't think they added anything new. Which sadly doesn't surprise me. Oh, was that 666? Yeah, 666. Wow. Wild. Nice. I've seen a lot of people... So, I guess in the Splatoon... So, in the adventure log in the story mode of this game, I guess there's a reference to how, the end of the Splatoon world comes when 7 rings of light open up, and, the Salmonids come from them and, you know, destroy the world. And I guess the whole big... Like, this whole big run event has, like, 7 different locations or something like that. And it's basically like, yeah, you know, it's the end of the world. So I've seen a lot of references to that. Let's teachings of old past. Team Past, I assume? Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all. You know, we'll be back next week with Astrobot. And then the week after that is the final Splatfest. See, this is why I chose Team Present. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Love that quote. Love that movie, man. All 3 of them are fantastic. And the 4th one's decent as well, just not as good. When you get far enough away, the music just completely stops. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm excited for the final Splatfest, because after that, the game fucking dies. And then maybe we'll go back to Fall Guys for a week or 2. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, there's not much time left in Splatoon. And when I say the game dies, I'm obviously being hyperbolic, but still. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.